to Rising Tides, the business podcast where we explore how leading ladies across industries make waves and rise above the competition. Join host Angela Merza and myself, Kim Hayden, as we talk to inspiring business women from entrepreneurs to executives about the strategies and tactics they use to get ahead. From their failures to their successes, you'll get an inside look at what it takes to make it in the business world today. Together, let's discover the power of collaboration and how raising each other up can help us all reach the heights of success. So dive in and join the conversation. All right. Hey, Angela.
Hey, Kim. How's it going?
It's going good. It's been a crazy week. I'm thinking that most people are feeling that right now.
I certainly am. Yeah, we skipped a week last week because you were having some gear issues, but here we are.
Routers and coax and fiber. And you know what? I'm just waiting for like the magic to happen. And, Elon Musk, come on, dude. Make something happen. I know. I'm like,
he's working on something.
You can be as online as you want, but the reality is you're still dependent on your technology, the actual infrastructure. So yes, apologize about last week. Super excited about this week. And I love this, this write up for our next gal. Cause it literally in quote marks is take action. And, you know me, Angela, sometimes I take action. I'm that one that's like, I'm the kid that you had
We're
to tell.
opposites.
Yeah. I'm the kid that's like, I kept touching the stove. And, Angela's like, one time, never again. Got it.
Yeah.
Got the message. I'm like, going,
no, I'm like, I'll need to research more about this stove before I touch it. Right.
So excited to have our guest today, folks. Laura Doehle, I love this name. Laura Doehle helps small business owners feel more in control and confident in running their businesses to achieve personally sustainable success. I think the key word in there, folks, sustainable success. She serves as a sounding board and personal guide to getting business operations streamlined while aligned with the business strategy, ending the exhaustion that comes from scrambling through each day. She brings a take action approach and helps business owners create structures, processes, and tools to run their business in a way that feels right for them and allows them to make the progress on their professional and personal goals. I'm excited to kind of get some insight here. All righty, let's bring her into studio. We're going to swap out our background here. There we go.
Hey, Laura.
Good morning.
Morning. Welcome.
Welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
I got my teacup. I think that should be a requirement. Is teacups?
I know.
Angela's got her water bottle, though. Angela's got her water bottle. Always. She will have a big, giant water bottle.
So young.
Yeah, Angela's actually 82. So
yeah.
Wow, you wear it well.
Listen, I'm telling you, everybody listen to the wisdom. Everybody listen to the wisdom. So super excited that you're here. And we're just gonna kind of dive right in. Angela.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Laura. Awesome. Yeah. So before we dive into, some tactics, I'm really excited to hear about this because I'm all about systems and organization. And I mean, you should see me when our family goes camping. I have like a spreadsheet for what we're going to eat. I'm that gal. It's like, yes, we're going to have fun, but this is the schedule for having fun.
Yep.
So I'm really excited to hear more on that. But let us know a little bit about you personally and just give us some backstory about how you got to be where you are today.
It's a fascinating question because it doesn't seem that interesting, but then I recognize that it's all about the themes that get you to where you're at. And I have always gravitated towards small business is where I've worked throughout my career. I did start in a large entity and realized I don't deal well with bureaucracy. And I am a take action person. And so dealing with a lot of the slowness of large corporations frustrated me. So I gravitated towards small business, and then throughout my career realized small business is the backbone of the community. It's where things are happening. It's where people are really invested, not in just their business, but in what impact it has. And that's what has always driven me, is that the world can be a better place if businesses are doing well. That's like my idealist utopian capitalistic mindset. And so that's kind of how I got here, is, you know, let's make the world a better place that way. And oddly, most people go into business for what the business does. And I went into business because I like running business. And so helping people run business just seemed like a natural way to go. So it's not a very sexy story, but it's here. It's what I do.
No, I love it. I love it. I as well don't do well with bureaucracy. I can't. I would be unemployable at this point, but right? I'm just what would I do? I just ask myself, what would I do? And I don't know if I would be that employable because I was the same way. I worked for the city of Calgary for a little while as a freelancer, but even that got much for me because I kept screwing everything up, like their red tape, and I was just busting through all that all the time, like unknowingly, unwittingly,
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
not not conforming and not doing it the right
It
way,
the
their
right
way, right?
way.
So
Mhm.
right. So that was
Right.
me. So I totally feel you on that.
I think
It's
that's the other piece, is the right way. Why does that have to be the right way?
Right. You're right. I
Uh,
was like that too. I'm like, why are we doing it this way? I feel like I have some creative ideas here. And that's why I broke out on my own. But this isn't my story. Anyways, this is your
You know
story.
what? That is interesting, though, that you say that. Why is it the right way? Because I've
Yeah.
actually said jokingly, but actually mean it, that I'm completely unemployable. I have been my own employer since 1997. I have not had a paycheck from anyone aside from the ones that I've actually earned through my own services and skills. And I've always joked that, I'd fire myself on certain days. Um, but you with you saying that, why is it that this is the right way or the wrong way? That would actually omit the fact that I'm not unemployable. I'm
mhm.
absolutely employable. It's just into what circumstances or stages. Because so that brings me around to, and actually I think we've already kind of gotten a hint as to what makes you unique, as but what do you think makes you, oh, there's the water bottle. Told you. Um, what
Stay
makes
hydrated. Stay
Yeah,
hydrated.
stay hydrated. What do you think makes you unique within how your services that you offer or your business?
I do believe it's there is no right or wrong way, is what makes me unique, because when I come in, and it ties into that personally sustainable success. What is success for you? How, and for the business that's going to help you be successful as a business owner, and that you can do on an ongoing basis without it, putting you in your grave early. And so I do think a big part for me is, I don't care what your culture is, if it's the culture you want. I don't care if your processes are a certain way or not, as long as they are allowing you to achieve what you want to achieve. And so it's, whether we call it the non-judgmentalness or the, open-mindedness. For me, it's about, let's rewrite the rules. Uh, and that seems to be very unique, because there are a lot of organizations that say, we have a system, we have a structure, follow this and you will achieve success. And I always say, first, what does success look like to you? And then let's create what the system and structures are that will help you get there.
Interesting. No, I totally agree. I believe that there's certain kind of rules around what the avatar is looking for, who is your client,
Hmm.
but how you get to the success with that is different for each person,
Hmm.
right? Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
completely.
Okay.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
obviously rules we have to follow. There's algorithms we have to play to. Uh,
Damn
But
you, Instagram.
but I go back to this. It was early on when I started this business, and I read some article about the excitement that in this large entity, a big tech company, they had put in a system that helped women figure out how to navigate the systems and structures to be successful there. And I thought in my head, why are we having to help women navigate those structures that were built for men, basically white men? Why can't we change the rules that allow everybody to navigate effectively? And that was one of those, I'll say, aha moments in my business. Was I want to work with business owners that say, I don't need to follow what those big companies told us we had to do. I want to do it my way. I want to set the structures in place that support me or my team effectively without there having to be like programs to teach you how to navigate. And that it infuriates me that that's where our society is at, but I stand firmly on I'm better suited to support small business, and I'm better suited to help them build the organizations that don't have to tear down those walls. And then if they become, huge multi-million dollar multinational organizations one day, which would be super cool, they will have put structures in place early on to allow everybody to flourish.
Hmm.
And that's like my utopian business capitalism.
Yeah. Sounds
Mhm.
lovely. You did come from big corporate world before this, correct? Is that what you were saying early on?
I early in my career, my first job was at a large pharmaceutical company, highly
Okay,
structured, highly
cool.
bureaucratic, and then I did do a stint in a field office of a very large financial services company. But other than that, it's been small, one, two owner businesses.
The reason I ask is just how much of what the systems that large corporations have in place versus what you help set up now with small business. Is there any crossover? Like, does it just totally not work for small business? Are small business owners coming to trying to mimic, how maybe they've come from corporate and maybe they've, been in those systems and they're trying to mimic that in their small business? Does it work? Does it not work? What's the kind of crossover there between
I think
systems?
I think there's a lot that does work when it's pared down. Right. And let's be honest, in the last 10 years with the internet has changed a lot of how we work, how we operate, automation, chat GPT is obviously changing things again. Um, but so when I first started my career, the internet was not really a thing that we spent a lot of time on. So what systems were even used back when in that day are totally different. But I think a lot of it is about consistency and process and whatever tools exist. Now, the key is there has to be tools that align for small business, largely their budgets, and versus the huge enterprise systems that are
Mm.
massive and require, hundreds of thousands of dollars of consultants to implement. Your small business owner isn't going to do that. So there is, and there's a lot of options out there for the small business owner to get those tools, which can help them improve their systems and processes. I think a lot of it is just what are the core processes of the business? What is the consistency? Are you still there? Because my screen literally just went blank.
Oh, yes, we are
Okay.
there. We can
Can you?
see you and hear you, so
Okay,
you're
then
fine.
I'll keep talking. Um,
Okay.
so I do think there there are a lot you can get, and I do. Many people start a business after having been at a large entity. Um, so that's there's value there, but then it's applying it to the small business. And now I don't have a camera.
Yeah, you are frozen. Um,
Okay.
but we can still hear you. I'm not sure if it's gonna go down further, though. Oh, here we
Let me
go.
see if I can change to a different camera. This is weird, very
Yeah, no
odd. There we
worries.
go. Perfect. New
Oh,
camera.
there we go. Man, I hope I'm not next. First it was you, Kim, now then Laura with tech issues.
Wow, what a day.
Yeah.
And
But
Yeah.
for this, I
but
just
this
call it.
is
I'm out.
so then that what you just did though is something that we all need to be prepared for. You had a backup. And I think that is what paralyzes a lot of people in their business is what they don't have the backup. They don't know.
Mhm.
They've got plan A. I'm running full force with plan A.
No contingencies.
Yeah,
No
so my system
contingencies.
crashes,
Yeah.
or you're using a third-party billing system and it's no longer available, or they change, or, like, there's all these things that are coming and going so fast. I love how you actually just showed us that just having a contingency plan is critical. So,
It is. Now, if your whole internet goes down, you're
yeah,
totally
Wow.
yeah,
screwed.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the other tech, you can be prepared for
be
sure.
Yeah.
prepared. Sorry. Keep
That's
going,
good.
Angela.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, I was just gonna ask, so if we talked about there's no right or wrong way to do things in business, and we talked a bit about that. So if there's no right or wrong way, can you let us know? Well, first of all, can you let us know what is the foremost thing on clients' minds when they come to you? What are they thinking? What are they overwhelmed with? Like, how are they thinking, feeling? What do they come to you for? And then I'd love to know how you help them. And if there's no right or wrong way, is there a formula for this type of stuff, for setting up systems and being sustainable in your business? So what are they
Yeah.
coming to like? What are they like when they come to you?
So most of the business owners that come to me are frantic, exhausted, and definitely feel like they're on a hamster wheel, that they are achieving growth, they're achieving success in my business is doing well, but they're so stuck in the day to day and so much that's being thrown at them that they're just exhausted. Some of them putting in 60, 70, 80 hours, like that type of thing. I joke that I don't find any of my customers on social media because they're not on social media because they don't have time. And if they are doom scrolling, they sure as heck aren't looking at business coaches. They're looking at cat videos in order to unwind. Um, so so that's kind of how they come to me often is help. I need to stop this. And so a lot of it is my formula, so to speak. If Angela says we need to have a formula, is really peel back the onion on what is causing that. What are you focused on that's making you feel so exhausted? And really the first step is let's stop worrying about the day to day and let's spend some time on your business and thinking about um, what are you trying to accomplish? What do you want the business to accomplish? And then what do you want your role in it to be? Because I think that's also a big piece is that they've realized what they're doing day to day is not what they envisioned running a business would be like. Um, so that's kind of the formula is we got to figure out where we're headed and then we map out the steps to take it. Did we completely lose Angela?
I,
Yeah,
I,
it is my turn. Can you hear me at least?
we can hear you. Keep
Isn't that
going,
weird?
Angela. Keep
We've got
going.
ghosts in here, you guys. We've got ghosts.
And I don't do cat videos. I actually get lost in all these young dancers.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
I love dance videos. These kids are so
Oh,
talented.
how
There you
sweet.
are. You're back. See,
You're
I'm
back.
not
Very
saying
weird, you
anything.
guys.
I'm not
Mhm.
saying anything. I'm not saying.
Anyway, I don't have a backup plan, so I don't know what is going on today, you guys. What is up?
Ah,
Oh, scary May 25th.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I've heard a lot of buzz about this lately, just from some, posts I see on LinkedIn and whatnot, but work-life balance, is it really a
Mhm.
thing? What's your take on work-life balance? Is that an outdated idea, or what do you think about that?
Uh, so I don't like the terminology of work-life balance because the im implication is that it's equal,
Mm,
and that's not gonna always be the case, and that may not be what you want, it to
mm,
be. I think for me, a lot of it comes down to this phrase I use, personally sustainable success. What does success look like to you, and how can you set yourself up to be able to do that on an ongoing basis? And that's a lot of different things. Sometimes it's setting boundaries or recognizing that what's driving you today is different than what was driving you 4 years ago and what will be
mm,
driving you differently than 10 years from now. And knowing that kind of what that looks like is going to change. So I think you can be able to build a business without having to work 80-hour weeks. I
yeah,
don't I don't work a ton of, I'll say, overtime because I have a child
yeah,
and she has requirements. like drop off and pick up. And that created a boundary. I don't do pickup most days, but she shows up in my office, con
Yeah.
of working from home. And so a lot of it is what is success? Define what success means. Is it being able to go to every one of your kids' games, or being able to do happy hour with your best friend every Thursday night? Like, that's part of success, is that you can feel good about who you are, and then build your plan around that. And sometimes you've gotten too deep and you need to unwind some of that. And that's where a lot of that streamlining operations comes from, is what can you offload? What doesn't need to
Mm.
be on your plate? So I don't like the balancing, because again, that makes it feel equal. And there will be weeks where it's totally off kilter.
Yeah.
And I talk a lot, and when I'm out on the socials, about wrenches thrown, hashtag wrenches thrown, because there's like, this is a prime example that we're all dealing with technology issues. Kim said this morning she's really struggled with technology. Well, that meant her entire morning was thrown off. And so the wrenches were thrown, and we have to deal with them. And there's never going to be even the perfect laid plan, which Angela can attest to. Uh, as you said, you're a good super planner with your spreadsheets. Having the plan allows you to navigate quickly. It doesn't mean that it's going to all go according to plan. Uh, so you have to be prepared for that. So the expectation that it's going to be in balance, for me, it's about what's going to allow you to thrive, and then be able to move forward in a sustainable way.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a lot of, thoughts around the hustle culture and that you have to just work until you burn out. And
Mhm.
that's not sustainable, especially when you reach a certain age, right? It's just not sustainable. And I have a kid too. So,
Uh-huh.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Like, that's not sustainable. And it's not even what you need to do in order to grow a business. So let's
Agreed.
find a better way.
And was that hashtag wrench was thrown?
Wrenches are thrown.
Wrenches are
Wrenches
thrown. Are
wrenches
thrown.
are thrown. I'm putting that right up here because that is cool. I'm going to put that right there, and I'm going to show that. Tell me if I actually did that right. Wrenches
Wrenches
are
are
thrown.
thrown.
Looks
Yep.
good to me.
Okay,
Yep.
there you
Hashtag
go.
wrenches are
Hashtag,
thrown.
there you go. And not at people, right? Just they're
No,
thrown.
they're well,
Okay.
they're I
Here.
mean, it depends, and how good you are at bobbing and weaving. Angela's the boxer, so she probably can avoid all the wrenches. Some of us are like, boom,
Yeah, right in the forehead. I
right?
had a
What is
concussion in 8th grade from a softball. So that would be where the wrench would hit.
so isn't there a good quote from a movie that says if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball?
What is that from?
I think dodgeball,
I'd be
but
more interested in
Ooh, ooh,
dodging a
ooh.
wrench
Yeah.
than a ball.
Dodgeball. Dodgeball.
exactly. See,
I
there you
love
go.
dodgeball. We were actually just
Uh,
looking at that.
so yeah, wrenches are thrown because, and I don't even know where that phrase comes from, but no week is ever exactly as we expect.
No, definitely not.
Technology, sick kids, transportation gets shut off. You can't, take the bus into work on the time you were supposed to, snowstorms, like all of it. It's
Mhm.
all throws wrenches in our plans.
One thing I've started doing is on Fridays, I start locking off my calendar for the next week. So if you've booked time with me, you've booked time. If not, you're going to have to wait till next week. Because for me, I get really antsy when something comes on my calendar really quickly and I have to prepare for it, a meeting or whatever, and I've already got so much going on. So that's one thing that I've done
That's
as,
smart.
a system. Yeah. Do you have
Mhm.
any other smart tips like that people might implement? I don't know.
Well, you reference, meetings might show up on your calendar. The calendaring apps that they have, the scheduling ones, there's a ton of them out there. I I feel like that is one of the most time-saving tools out
Mm,
there.
yeah,
We spend
definitely
way
agree.
too much time emailing about what times I'm free, what times you're free, they don't match, instead of just saying, "Here's a link, find a time that works."
Mhm.
And, like, to your point, Angela, blocking off so you don't spontaneously get times when you don't want it. But like in my tool, I have two different links so that my clients get access to more times than
Right.
others because I will always prioritize my clients. I feel like those tools are so critical for saving time. And I know some people who have said that they're impersonal and whatnot, but they are just a time saver and
Yeah.
a stress reducer.
Yeah. I
Well,
agree.
and they have workflow emails. Almost all of them have. And I think the people that say they're impersonal don't understand the capability of those tools.
True.
Because when you discover the customized emails, I can't tell you the number of emails I get in response going, "Oh, I'm so excited to meet you." Because I have put my language, which is a little hillbilly, a little Kentucky in there. Um,
Mm.
and it's not Kentucky, it's
I
Kansas,
was going to
which
say, I thought you were Kansas.
I am a Kansas girl. Kentucky just sounds cooler because isn't there like good like whiskey from there or something? Kansas, we've just got cows. So,
And tornadoes.
sorry if I apologize to any Kansas people listening.
So, best steaks I've ever had have been in Kansas.
Really?
Oh,
hmm
okay. There you go. Next
North
question.
Central Kansas, there's a restaurant called the Buffalo Rome. Oh, go back
There you
there in a
go.
heartbeat if I could.
Sounds
There you
good.
go. Where are you at?
I'm in Seattle.
Seattle. Yep.
Oh, Seattle's nice. I like Seattle. I like that Northwest. Yeah, that's a beautiful area.
It is spectacular.
Yes.
It's a good hiking there.
Yes. We have gotten way off course.
Yeah, we have. Quick
Yeah, we
question
have.
for you. So we all do our jobs. We all build our business to build our financial wealth, to build our legacy, to build whatever it is we're going for. And I absolutely agree. There is no such thing as work-life balance. I have raised 3 children, and my middle child will tell you that he was raised by nannies. That's not necessarily true, but I did have a nanny. But I showed up for all the moments because I looked for quality versus quantity with my
hmm
children, and I still controlled the food. I still did the meals and stuff. That's what I wanted to do. Put dinner on the table. I chose where I showed up. And when I showed up hard. I showed up big. Um, but I also did a lot of volunteering. So I believe that most of us are working because there's something in our head going, I want to change or I want to make something different. I want to make impact. I want to leave legacy. What are you doing to raise tides for others, either in your personal or in your business? What are you doing to create legacy or that step beyond you?
So, one of the guiding philosophies of my entire career has been that if companies take care of their employees and employees benefit, they will go out into the community and improve the community. And community can be whatever you want it to be, whether it's a local town or the world. And that has always been my driver is that if you don't like your job, you're not going to pass that forward into the community. So my role now is working with those business owners to allow them to create a space to bring on employees, because most of my clients have employees. So they have employees and a space for their employees to thrive and feel good about what they're doing so that they'll pass it on to the community. Uh, so I'm on a board of a nonprofit here in the Seattle area that I'm very passionate about, and I know that I am contributing to my community through that. And I believe that a lot of other business owners want to do that, whether it's volunteering at the school like you did, Kim, or it's just being involved in the Rotary or any of those many organizations to better their community. If they have the space while running their business, they can do that, and they'll also give their employees more of an opportunity to thrive, which will then inspire them to give to their communities and their passions. And that is, I believe, how small business is the backbone. Big business might be able to match your dollar for dollar donation, but small business says, I am located here and I care about here. I am an accountant for the businesses of this community. I am the dry cleaner for this community. Whatever that is, they are actually invested in what's happening. And so for me, a lot of it is how can I make more of them succeed and and do it in a way that allows them to have space to move their community forward.
I have a real
Yeah.
quick question on that culture, creating the culture. When somebody is looking at scaling up, they're hiring people, they're bringing people on board, they're growing, they're making money, right? we're now here, this company culture. Can you give me the top 3 things that they should write down as a question to themselves while they're developing this, happy culture, this productive culture, this employee like positive culture?
Top 3 questions. That's a tough one.
Or even just one. What is
Yeah.
like a guiding?
I think every business owner should write down, what does the company I would want to work for look like? And also recognize that there's no right or wrong culture. It is about what aligns with the owner's values, it's what aligns with the business's values, and is a space that you would want to work in. That's got to be the number one question. If you as the business owner don't want to work there, then why would you build that?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yep. I one of the reasons I went out on my own was I was interviewing to work with design agencies in town, and I just couldn't find one that had the kind of culture that I wanted to be a part of. So, and I just didn't feel like I feel like I fit in rather. So yeah, I think defining that from the get-go will help you. Like, even if you don't hire employees, you're going to be dealing with clients, right? How do you deal with them? Or you're going to be in partnerships, maybe. What does that look like for you? Better to define it now than to let it be defined, over time. So I agree
True.
with that. Yeah. Let's see here. So I think you're reading a book right now. Or you finished reading a book that you think all women entrepreneurs should read. Share a little bit about that book that you've been reading. I, Let me see if I can
I've
pull it
read
up.
so
Female
many.
Firebrands.
Oh,
Female
female
Firebrand.
firebrands. Oh yeah.
Tell us about
So
that.
this is an interesting book. A good friend of mine actually wrote it, Michaela Kiner, who owns Reverb, an HR consulting company, and she
Mm,
basically got the stories of female entrepreneurs and what they
mm,
overcame and what their wisdom and advice is, and of all types of female entrepreneurs, as well as some insights from women earlier in their careers and what they're facing. And when you read it, it's one of those validations that you're not alone in having to fight some of the fights that are out there. So I do think it's kind of that you're not going to walk away with like a how to nugget. There's
yeah.
plenty of those books out there, and a dime a dozen. But uh, it is it just provides some of that fodder for, yeah, you can do it. We can do this. We
Mhm.
got this.
Yeah, business can be hard sometimes, so
Mhm.
hearing from other
Yeah.
people that have been there, right,
Uh-huh.
can help you keep going, and
I think
there's the book there. Right.
yeah.
Have
That's key is the kind of the validation that you're not alone. Being a
Yeah.
business owner is lonely, being at the top is lonely, being a woman doing it is very lonely at times, and to know that there's lots of other people who have endured, I think is empowering and
Mm,
inspiring.
nice. Yeah.
It Yeah, there's a lot women carry a lot of guilt. Like,
Yes.
seriously, and boy, that eats up a lot of energy. Eats up a
True.
lot of energy. And, I think sharing stories is important, and knowing, that this is definitely, you're not alone. Like you said, you're not alone.
Mhm.
Because I mean, sometimes you need a pack to tell you, "Hey, we all forget our kid at daycare once in a while."
Oh, yeah.
I did that
Oh.
last year.
Mhm.
Whoop.
Mhm. Oh, yeah. Can't get out of the door on time, all of it. Yeah. Been there, done that.
Oh, too funny. Yeah, just so you know, I've actually I forgot my daughter at camp. I thought she got out of camp the next day, and
Oh, no.
camp was 3 hours away. I have never
Oh.
done warp speed like I've done warp speed, then getting a call an hour after everybody had picked up all the other kids. But I sold a house, just so y'all know. And my
Priorities.
daughter
You
was
you
5.
Priorities.
you made money to pay for the speeding ticket you were
Yep.
likely to
Yep.
get.
Yeah.
Well, I
Gracefully.
got there and my daughter's like, "Oh, it was so much fun. I got to go to candy shop and we played cards. That was really the best. Thank you for giving me the extra time." It's like, absolutely anything for you, Maxine.
Absolutely. It
I
was
love
by
you.
design. I did that on purpose for you. She'll never know.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yep. This,
Mhm.
what can you do? Okay, I want to go into I want to make sure people can follow up with you,
Mhm.
to find you, follow you, stalk you, whatever. You seem like a cool person. I would, let's have some fun here. I'm going to put all your socials on screen. They're going to be in our show notes. But if
Mhm.
you could actually go through them for just our audio
Yeah.
listeners, that would be awesome. And while you're doing this, if you have any cool stuff on your website, so many of our guests have like great downloadables and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Please share with us what people can expect when they're looking at these things, or where
Sh
they can get them.
Yep. So I am on the LinkedIn's, linkedin.com/something. It's on the screen. In dash Laura Doehle. And then also my Elevation Business Consulting. It's elevation dash business dash consulting on LinkedIn is the business site. And that's your basic way to find out what my thoughts and dreams are, basically, for business owners. Elevation-business.com is the website. There's lots there about what I do and how I work with business owners. There's also a cool quiz called the On versus In Your Business, so you can assess how much of your time are you spending on your business versus just in it in the daily grind of it. In order to move it forward, you've got to come up, look at the high level, and think bigger picture
Mhm.
of your business. So taking that quiz will give you some insights into that, but then also will trigger the on versus in 7-day challenge. And each day you'll
Oh.
get a prompt to spend 15 minutes on minimum on your business. And that's all it takes to start seeing momentum build on how you're running your business. So that is on elevation-business.com. You can also sign up for my newsletter there as well. But everybody's got a newsletter.
I
So
love it. I
that's
love
that's
it.
the easy ways to find
7 day
me.
challenge. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, everybody's got a newsletter, but if uh, Laura is speaking to you, if it's this, the language information, the how she's relaying, cancel 3 others, just not ours, and subscribe to Laura's. Seriously, it's I actually have, over the last probably 6 months, canceled so much stuff off my list. I'm not going to be held beholden. We just
Mm.
here you go. Here you go. You got another fan. Laura looks like a
Wow,
cool lady. I
woohoo!
sent
All
her a
right,
Nice.
LinkedIn invite.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you know what? We are LinkedIn people too. We
Yeah.
tried to do the Facebook group. It's not going to happen. Sorry, folks. Not going to happen. We're here on LinkedIn. We like LinkedIn. It seems to be a better platform for us.
mhm.
Um, Angela, I'm turning
Yeah.
it over to you.
So let's leave our guests with some nuggets of wisdom here. What is something that has helped you, something someone shared with you, some wisdom, either in business or in life, that you can pass along to anyone listening today?
Wow. So truth be told, I have a bit of a chip on my shoulder and a like prove you wrong kind of attitude, and a lot of this since the beginning. And so that is a lot, unfortunately, for better or for worse. It's what propels me is that I will prove you to you that I'm going to be successful. And I take that with me when I work with business owners. It's like, well, why not? We can do that. Let's do it. So I don't know if that's advice or just the reality of who I am, that there's unfortunately been plenty of naysayers throughout my career that have propelled me forward. And I want to
Mhm.
prove them all that you can be successful and not be in a large corporation or not have to follow the rules of what everybody says are supposed to be done. Um, so with that, I tend to listen for the word should. If we say the
Mm.
word should, means we're setting expectations that probably aren't realistic. And let's ratchet that back. So I always When people say that, I always say, well, why are we saying should? Should we? Do we really need to? So I always say,
Mhm.
question that. Prove them
Mm.
wrong, but question your shoulds.
Yeah, I had a coach tell me I shouldn't should on myself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't should on yourself.
Yep.
Right?
That's a great phrase.
Yeah, because it's sort of setting our expectations through the lens of somebody else,
Yep.
perhaps. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
not perhaps our own.
Right.
We think we ought to do something because we are performing for somebody else.
Yes.
Perhaps it's not our own thought or goal or value or expectation of ourselves, right?
And I think that's where a lot of these, well, this is how you have to do it. Business rules
Right.
have been in place. And so then someone says, well, I should manage my inbox this way because this great person said that's how
So
you
this is
manage your
yeah,
inbox. And it says, well, if it doesn't work for the way your brain is wired, why should you do it? You know,
exactly.
I've been told
I
I
like that.
should volunteer at the kids' school. Why? Is that going to
Yeah,
make you less of a parent? Like,
right.
if you would rather work and you can give to your kids in other ways, why should you be a volunteer at the school? Like, we put a lot of those shoulds, and I think you're right. It's just other people's, like we're performing for other people, and
Expectations of
I
us. Yeah.
don't, I don't, whatever. My
Don't let
kids,
Instagram guide you on what you
yeah,
should be doing, folks.
exactly. My kid needs therapy no matter what. So trying to do what everybody else, like they have me as a parent. So trying to do what
Mm,
everybody says I should be doing as a parent is only going to make her therapy bill bigger.
yeah. There you go.
I
There's a
think
quote.
I think we read some of the same parenting books. I love it. I love it.
So
So I would say at this point, I'm just going to wrap this up. I have one final question for you. Is there a uh, problem too small for if you had the right person reach out to you? Is there a problem too small that you won't tackle, or is it, if somebody says, I have this one issue that I just can't figure out, like the automation or the system around, or I need to clean it up, it's eating up too much of my time. Do they have to come to you to revamp their entire business, or could you tackle one project with them and say, let's claim back an extra 40 minutes in your work week?
So my typical model is more ongoing engagement. Really,
Awesome.
where are we trying to go? Let's build out the roadmap and take action, and then guide you through that action as an accountability partner, a sounding board, and bring in to bear some tools and processes that would be helpful. Uh, that doesn't mean that if it's one very narrow space that we're working, it's not, I can't work on it. It's just more about that ongoing relationship, that ongoing support is where I thrive. So
Awesome.
I don't do well with the, hey, just help me fix this, fix X. It has to be fix X because it is impacting a lot more.
Exactly. Okay, so folks, seriously, you've got something that's eaten up your time. And believe it or not, that's actually usually related to other issues. It's like the knee bone connects to the ankle bone. And it sounds as if Laura could be the right person to literally step in and help you look at the entire anatomy of your business and make it all work better for you. So, um, wow. I've learned a ton already. I do love that. If you don't want to work for your company, why would anybody else? I love that. I love that. I think I'm gonna put that up on my wall. Angela, closing
Stop
words.
shitting on yourself. Stop shitting on yourself, right? Don't
Mhm.
feel like you have to do it the way it's always been done. Those are my people too. It's one of my core values. Don't tell me it can't be done. I will
Yep.
prove you wrong.
Yep. Why not
And,
me?
you know,
Why not
and
me?
that's
And why
most of
not
us
you?
are in business because we saw a different path, right? So
Well,
trust your gut and
all
go your
righty.
own way. Fleetwood Mac.
That's dating you. All righty.
Yeah.
Laura, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been fun.
All righty.
Technology
Thanks,
issues and
Laura.
all. It's been fun.
We
That just
survived.
that just made it more interesting. It's like, oh, look, they're just playing musical boxes. Who's gonna go this time? Hey, was he gonna maybe make it a drinking game next time? But until that time, Laura, you are a true gem. I think anybody who has the privilege of working with you will go much further in business. So
Thank you
thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you
Thank
for your
you.
time. All right, Angela.
Thanks, Sarah. Yeah,
Folks, I'm Kim Hayden, and this is who is this?
rising tides.
With Angela. Angela from Be Bold Branding. Until next time, guys, all I can say is don't shit on yourself. And why not you? Why not me? Why not me? Go stand in the mirror. Say it 3 times. It'll happen.